Hi team. So today I have picked up questions in the topic of Jenkins. So I have kept most of the questions related to the actual Jenkins portal, right? So since like we are all new to the application, so I thought let's focus more on how do we work around the application. So let's start with the basic question. So what is Jenkins team? From your perspective, what do you think is Jenkins? Any answers?
And team, through this, if any, we are assuming that you've gone through all the tutorials on Jenkins, worked on a little bit. If you're not, you'll get an exposure. We would love you to answer first. Raise your hand so we can unmute you, everyone. And then if we are unable to arrive at a good answer, then, Ramu or I will be able to provide one. But we want to see your involvement too. It's good for both. Any hands that are raised so we can unmute you? Who wants to be unmuted, please? You can mute at your end whenever you are. I don't see hands at all. And team, please don't be extremely scared about it. It's just a conversation. Team, if I don't see all the hands, I will unmute all of you then. And then you were forced to talk. So we're a little participative team. This is JPACT. There is no impact on your job or profile if you don't participate. You have to participate. So, okay. I'm going to unmute at least 3-4 people who have raised their hands, Ramu, and then we'll continue.
Sure.
I'm guessing it is a integration, software integration too.
I think
Yeah.
it's an open source automation server wherein you build and then test also the software.
Yes, I think both of you are right in a way. But as Sujata mentioned, it is a integration tool. So basically, it's an open source software that we are using to build and deploy applications, right, over the internet. So, and this is the most commonly being used across all projects, like in the current market, where the expectation is that the code should be deployed and integrated continuously, and the testing should happen as a cycle, right? So if you want to give a standard explanation, let me just put it up for you, then we can go through the right. So as I mentioned, right, it's an open source automation tool, and it was created using Java with the plugins. So it's completely based on the plugins specific to whatever operation we are trying to do. And the purpose is for continuous integration and continuous deployment, like, which is my next question. So what do I mean here by continuous integration and continuous deployment?
You can develop new code and integrate it simultaneously and deploy it.
Exactly, yeah. So you put it in a simple words, right? So basically, it is going to be a continuous non-stop cycle wherein the developer is going to continuously keep pushing his code to the testing to the tester, and the tester is going to pick the a new code, perform all the testing operations, and then keep deploying it. So if there's a bug, he will raise a bug. Again, the developer is going to fix the bug, push it for testing, and so it is a continuous cycle, right? Where we keep on integrating and deploying the code. Okay. So let me get that.
Ramu, I have a question. So what is the role of a tester in this Jenkins, since the developer is doing most of the things?
Well, so the developers part ends with pushing the code to Jenkins, right? So whatever code fix or new requirement that is automated is pushed to Jenkins, and the tester's role comes in picking this new code base from the Jenkins and create a job for testing that specific code, right? And so, right, like for example, we in IT LAN we have our own code base which was created to test the applications, right? Be it any auth, right? So any auth, we have any auth as a Java code which was written specifically for automating any application. So we push that code base into Jenkins and then trigger the execution to automate any application. That's a continuous process. So any code change or any update or any new action that I create as part of my suite will be pushed into will be picked up by the Jenkins rather, and we will see that as an example. So you will get more clarity when we get into that part.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, right. So continuous integration is a process that helps a developer to integrate this code, right, into this shared repository, which basically he is referring to the GitHub, from where Jenkins picks up the code, and it is an automated build process, right? And also continuous delivery is an extension of the integration process, which where we ensure that the new changes are being verified and released to the customers quickly as an end-to-end operation. Okay, fine. Right. Then what is the next question? Okay. Now we can get into the actual tool, right? So how does a Jenkins look? So how can I start Jenkins, team?
It is in the command prompt. Go to the particular Jenkins path and type Java space minus jar space Jenkins.var if we have the Jenkins var file.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Rishikesh. So Java. So this is a code team. I've gone to my folder where I have my Jenkins, and I write this command Java minus jar Jenkins.var. So okay, and once I hit enter, Jenkins should be triggered.
But what is the website you have used for downloading Jenkins?
Well, the pretty much the Jenkins website, right? So just you can type Jenkins war, and it should take you to the website. Yeah, Jenkins download and deployment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So now that we have the command, right? So the command is Java minus Jenkins .war. Okay. Right. So okay, let it start. So then before I open the Jenkins console, let's answer this question as well. So what is the difference, right? We have tools called Maven, then we have something called Ant, and then we have Jenkins now. So what is the difference between these two or three tools?
Maven, it is the dependency management, right? So build and dependency. So and Jenkins is an integration tool, and I think it's similar to Maven, right? The previous version.
Exactly, yeah. But the difference is Maven and Ant are build automation tools specifically, or build automation tools, whereas Jenkins is an integration tool, right? So let's try to understand if there is any other difference. So this is this one difference I'm aware of. Let's see if there is something else. Yeah. Okay, what is the difference? Yeah, I'm just trying to look for the major difference. Let's pick something else. Yeah.
So automation tools you mean by where we developed using Selenium and Java? That is the difference between Maven and Ant?
So basically triggering your build, right? So Karthik, how can we put Maven and Ant, Karthik? Could you?
Hmm.
Could
So
you?
Ant is a little older technology. Maven has come over Ant. It is a newer version for Ant. Maven is a build tool that helps us with dependencies that a project needs. So one of the biggest things is about the dependencies, and we are able to put it together as a Maven pom.xml file and talk about what dependencies we have within it as jars, and they will get downloaded before we build or run. So we are always referring to certain instances. Instead of we physically having to add independent jar files to our project in Eclipse, Maven will do it once we put it there. So your build becomes easy that way. So from manually adding dependencies and manually building your whole project to Maven doing it through the pom.xml is the most key aspect there. Once that is deployed, then we get Jenkins to be able to continuously integrate where we are moving our code to servers, where we know that's a process, and then we can say what we want to trigger from there on. How
Yes.
is
Thank
it
you.
integrating with other modules or maybe even automation testing and so on?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
I think what is the
Okay.
difference? I mean, with the Gradle and this Maven. So whether Gradle is what, where exactly the Gradle? It's a similar one, or
It's just a competitive product. So Jenkins has become much more popular, but again, you have the other options, other tools. So each of this are tools team, software as a service, and they come up with their own features of what it can do. Do that
Thanks.
Jenkins was Gradle also, Ramu? Google search
Yeah.
on it.
Open source build tool in Java, Kotlin and Groovy. Okay. I think this is a difference.
Not an integration server. It's not a server. It
Yeah.
doesn't have a server.
Server, right? Right. Yeah.
Look, can you click on the stack share dot? Okay, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Let's
Got
see. Let it load.
it. Okay.
Again, from build, how do we come here? It's only talking more in terms of the difference that I see as a continuous integration or not.
Mm.
I have not personally put my hands on it, so won't be able to comment much more than that.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Fine, team. I think now we can get into the actual Jenkins console, right? So to launch the Jenkins console, what is the default URL, team? You
it's the
probably,
local host and the whatever the port which we configured.
yeah. So before I trigger this, how do I know my Jenkins is up and running? So I should be able to see this command, right? So the statement should be there in your command console saying that it's up and running. So I should be able to launch my local host, right? So this is the default URL. Right. So since I already let me log out. So this is the default screen which you will be getting. Jenkins. Okay. So I'll put this. So, okay.
So
Right.
where when we will use this under that Apache server, we will sometimes install in Apache server and we will run it, right? So why the difference in this standalone? I mean,
I didn't get your question. What's this?
actually this Jenkins it's a standalone one, right? You are directly using the var and running, right? In the
Yeah. Yeah.
Apache server also we can run it, right? We can put it in that particular path and we can run it, right? So I mean, what is the? I mean, why they prefer two methods actually here?
I haven't had a chance to work using Apache, but the primary reason for downloading a WAR file is that whenever I trigger execution, I will be able to see the browser, right? So if I'm doing a UI based web browser testing, and the traditional Jenkins download runs as a headless mode, right? Meaning you won't be able to see the browser opening. But whereas using this WAR file enables the browser to be open. That is the main reason why we opt for our WAR file.
Okay, okay.
Otherwise,
Okay,
we can
so
never see what is
and,
going on.
yeah,
Yes, Karthik.
and look at two major differences, team. It is still a service that has to run. Okay, so now we're using localhost colon 8080 because it is running on our local machine using jenkins.war. When we do a hosted deployment, your URL will change from localhost to something like, let us say, anyod.com/jenkins or jenkins.anyod.com. And I will be able to log in once I'm connected to that network or through VPN. And then I will be able to maintain it on the cloud for a team overall. Okay, so there's that difference of hosting your Jenkins and running it as a local service. End of it, the execution will happen. Either it can happen on the local machines or on remote servers and so on. But your access point will also change. So then you can well work with other team members and so on using the hosted version.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Right. So let me go to the next question. Yeah. So now that we have launched a URL, once I launch a URL, I should be able to log in, right? So for logging in, the password will be in a specific folder. So it will be called the initial admin password. So any idea where can I find this password, Tim? The specific initial
In
admin
the
password.
home path, after that secret folder and initial admin password there, it will be there, I guess.
Right. So wherever you have set up, right? So I have set up my Jenkins under the C users by default. So there, if you go to the secrets folder, you should be able to find a file here. Since I have changed the password, I don't see that file. So once you open that initial admin text file, you will be having an encrypted password, which you can copy and put it here. So I have already logged in and changed it. So let me. Right. So this is the home screen. So where we are, we can create all our jobs, right? So let's look at one by one. What is the next question? And secrets. Directory. Okay. So when I say Jenkins home directory, what do I mean, Tim? Any idea?
Wherever you
I'm
downloaded Jenkins.
exactly. Right. So wherever I have set up my Jenkins, right? So in my case, I put it under my users, and so that is a part. So it could be your C drive or D drive. So wherever your Jenkins folder structure is getting installed, that will be your home directory. So it will be something like this dot Jenkins, and you should
Yeah,
be
can
able
you
to
go
see
one
all the.
level up? Yeah, good. We have something on
Okay.
workspace also, Ramu, later.
Workspace, I haven't covered any specific thing. Karthik. No.
Question. So
Yeah.
what is workspace here, team?
It's Selenium directory, Eclipse and Selenium.
It will cover what you said. So any build activity or job that we do on Jenkins, it will create a workspace on a local machine to be able to get that code and execute that code. So it'll keep everything as a folder where you can try to run your build jobs. And anytime that gets changed, it'll take the latest one. And especially when you do a git commit, GitHub commits and so on, integration with it, this will get updated through the build jobs. So all your tasks will get executed here, team. All right.
So this workspace is different than the Eclipse workspace that you have demoed in the past.
Totally different, but they do the same things. It's a Jenkins workspace.
Jenkins
It can have
workspace.
any project in it.
Okay, thank you.
It doesn't have to be just a Java or so.
Okay, so it is stop. Yeah, stop.
Question 7.
No, since you already answered this, I'm just writing it down.
Okay. Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, team. So now that we have logged in, right, we need to create a job, right? So how do we create a job in Jenkins?
Go to the new item and go to the project.
Okay,
If it is a
let me
Maven,
find
you can go to Maven or normal project. Freestyle project
Right.
for normal one.
Sure. So I enter a name for the project, and then usually we select the freestyle project, right? So predominantly we use this freestyle project by default. Once I click on OK, my job should be created, right? So you see that there's a test job, and these are the attributes which we'll see one by one. Okay. Right. So let me go back. Clicking. And okay. Okay. So this what is the process to integrate Git with Jenkins? Right, team. So let me go back to my screen. So this is my test job, right? And there,
Yeah.
so yeah, go ahead.
If it is plugin is installed, we can directly do it, or else we have to install the Git plugin, and after that here there's an option for that URL, right? That their repository, we will provide the repository and we will get that one.
Yeah. So where do you think you see all the
What
tags,
is the
right?
Git plugin?
Normally while installing, we will install the plugin, right? Normally in plugins.
Do we have to install the plugin?
At
Yes.
start, like
It's
it
not a
will ask.
plugin, right?
I think let me go to my. I guess it doesn't come by default, so we might have to add that plugin for Git specifically. Okay, type Git. So these two we need to set up. Yeah.
Wait, which one?
This Git, what we saw, right? Git. These
Uh-huh.
again integrates Git with Jenkins.
Oh, yeah. Actually, during installation itself, we'll choose that, correct?
Right. Yeah. During installation, it will ask us to pick
Yeah,
the recommended plugins, and we can
correct.
go ahead and do. That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So let me go back to the job which I created.
So do we have to physically download those plugins again after Jenkins is downloaded, or is it like auto configured?
It is a part of the setup process.
During installation, it'll have a window where it says by default, it will download and install all the necessary plugins. So in that, even the Git plugins will get included.
Okay.
But Maven
So
won't be installed, right? We have to install manually, right? Maven.
So what is there to install a Maven plugin here for our, I don't remember, Ramu.
I guess it's more of a plugin that can be customized. Yeah. If it's a
But
Maven
mine
build.
will be a Maven project.
Yeah.
And It doesn't require a Maven plugin.
Yeah.
I don't know, Rishikesh, what are you trying to?
No,
What are
no.
we
So if
trying
you
to
want to
think
run
about?
that command like mvn clean and mvn all the things, like normally like while
Okay. If you want to run MVN commands, yes, you will need it. Correct. Correct. Actually, that's true. We'll need that then.
Okay. Thanks, Karthik. Yeah.
Ramu, yeah, just
So
go back to you focusing on the tabs, please, on the CM and all those build also.
yeah, team. So let's assume like we have installed all the like Git plugins, right? So now how do we answer
Uh-huh.
this actual question? Like how do I integrate my Git with Jenkins? So this is my job.
I think go to the
Where
second one, source code management. I think go to the second tab.
this one? Okay.
Click on that. Scroll down. There will be option called that Git
Git
source code management. Git, and we have to enter the repository URL.
Git URL.
Okay, great. Yes, team. So let me copy my Git URL and right. So that, yeah, that was the answer. So since this is a public repository, no authentication is needed. So I can just enter my repository URL and I should be able to save it.
Why is the authentication not needed, team?
Because you are the owner.
No, as
You're
it
the
is a
admin.
public
No,
one,
it's
so
public. It's public, that's why.
It's public. And if even if I'm the owner, Jenkins will not know I'm the owner till I give the credentials.
Right.
Okay.
So we
can
will,
you just
we are
show
doing
how
it
to do
because
this
it's,
credentials with you have the private, right? So can you just show how to the credential configuration here, private for private?
let's do the source, Ramu,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Let me go through.
So now see the runner that you're seeing is a public, so everyone can access. And then we have SRC. Can you paste this URL to everyone in the team?
Yeah.
You won't be able to access the team because the source code. But if given access, then you can be part of that coding development as well. So now it's saying fail to connect. Let's give the credentials.
Yeah. So
Do you
I
remember
guess I want
which one?
added it. So let me just save this. Yes, team. So okay, let me check. Let me save this. Yeah.
Do we have to click on that add button again?
No, Karthik. HTTP GitHub.
Click on that add.
Okay, let me try adding again. Username, password.
Oh, add is adding a new credential, is it? Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I already have the credentials. So I'm not sure why it's not allowing me to. It's not accepting that. So for some reason. So let me try removing that. Maybe I think I already have this credential. It should be working. So let me see if I can remove this. So I'll go to my credentials. Okay, and delete this. Okay, and yeah, so I have one more. So now I'll try adding that. Okay, and I'll go back to my job. This job configure. Add Jenkins. If I just a minute, I want to confirm my username and password is correct. So yeah, KR625. I'm just checking the password. I am not able to recollect it. So let me try a couple of them. Yeah, I think. Oh, okay. Let me then again check it. Functions.
That should actually work. I don't know why.
It was saved also, Katik. So even I am surprised. So I'm just going to try it again. It was pretty much saved and it was working. So let me see. Configure and okay. I need to check this guy. I'm not sure why it's not accepting the credentials. It was working fine. Let
Just
me
check
log
the
out
first
here.
one.
One,
KR625
one.
slash.
I
No.
want to just confirm.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so the initial saved password was correct. So I don't know why. So let me go back to that initial password. Delete. Okay, now again I'm going to my job. Configure.
Test job, right? Ours is.
Yeah, sorry. I was wondering why is the URL different. Okay. Configure. Okay, where am I? I want to add a credential. So the credential is KR625. Let me cross check again. Yeah. 25. Okay, I have given the exact same password. Same. I'm not sure. I think something seems to be wrong here.
There
Let me
seems
check
to
in
be
the
some
other.
other message. Is it the correct URL?
Yes, because I logged in.
Yeah.
Logged in.
It's also, yeah.
The
right URL.
So, I'll check my other saved jobs. Let's see if I'm getting an error there. So,
Sure.
Just put that
anyone I
git on
have.
that one. Instead of URL, put that finish line. I think last time
Dot get
instead
you
of
saying.
yeah dot git.
Okay, maybe this is the
So
URL.
yeah, see, let's copy this into, and it's saying Ramu Git private repo. Let's use that
It's the same.
credential.
Just that the name is different, but
Oh.
credentials are same.
Okay.
But it should accept the HTTPS as well. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it should.
On that one, can I just add append that dot git whatever you? I think
We'll try this, or we will take the other URL. Yeah, give a second, Rishikesh. Yeah, this works. See.
Yeah. This seems to be okay.
Are we able to execute through here?
Yeah. Let me try. So okay. So this is my source.
Next
Okay,
questions
fine.
are there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we
So
can
what's
go one
next,
by
team,
one.
after this?
So I think okay. By installing git plugin and okay. Okay, how do we integrate private Git with the report Jenkins? So which is what we just now saw by adding the credentials for the report. Okay. Right. So the next question is like I need to add a command, right? So I need to add a command to execute my job. So where can I add my this batch command? So I have the URL. So I need to say that execute my jar. Sorry.
actually build
This one?
In build add build step, we'll add that one, right? Execute shell if it is a shell.
If it is a Windows command?
Command from this. First one, execute Windows batch.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So
That is
here I can.
because anyot has a jar file that we can execute from through the command prompt as well.
So if I want to let me check the folder structure. So within any auth, I have my source and then my any auth and then my jar file, right? So any auth jar. So I should be able to say cd any auth or rather cd source any auth. I could just copy this.
CD anyot.
cd any correct, Karthik?
I don't think we require SRC
SRC,
because that's
okay,
already part of my.
right. Okay.
And do we also need to give the Excel credentials, Excel detail here?
Yeah, thanks, yeah. But okay, since I'll just pass the Excel detail, which I already have it, right? I should be having a demo file. So let me go there.
Demo.xls.
Okay.
And
Okay, team.
there are a lot of other commands, team, that you need to be aware out here.
Yeah. Team, I mean, are you with us? Clear so far?
Okay, so basically, like where it will actually cd anywhere means that command. So what is the home path? It will automatically taken, or how it will be? Like we have to just give the.
Right. Since you are already
So,
past the URL, right? Yeah, Karthik, good.
so this is my question to you all. Where is this getting executed when we say cd anyot? When I say java-jar, where is it actually getting executed?
Okay, and the repo, like it will go to the particular path. Okay.
Where repo? Come on, be more precise.
No, in the
Specifically.
Git
Command
repository.
prompt.
It is in the cloud.
It's in the
GitHub is in the cloud.
command prompt. Oh,
No, what is command prompt? It's just an interface for me to connect with my computer. Where? Why will you show Ramu?
Okay. I thought it will be easy for him
So
to.
cd anyot, I thought it was referring to command prompt.
Okay, it is referring to change directory to anyot. So if I go to
Change
command
directory.
prompt, CMD is command prompt and it launches command prompt. So I don't know which folder I will be in. But what is my root folder? From there, where do I go?
Anyot.
Now, where is that
No,
anyot?
here it is. We give the source one as Git URL, the Git repository. From that, in the
Okay.
Git repository, it will go to the any
Git repository or GitHub repository?
GitHub.
GitHub repository. Is it in my local machine or in the cloud?
In the
Cloud.
cloud.
Then what is CD anyot? I can't do a CD anyot on the cloud, correct?
So it's going to get local.
Yeah.
Where will it put it?
Home directory.
Actually, like first it will download that. Actually, it will clone the file, so it will be in that path.
Correct.
So, and after that, in the anyot one, we are just moving to that one, and so.
Where? What is
workspace.
anyot? Forget anyot. I don't. There we go.
No. Cloning. One second. Where it will put?
Yes. Who answered? Please go ahead once again.
Workspace, Neha.
Yeah. Thank you, Neha. Jenkins workspace. Remember, I was telling. This is where the latest jobs, everything will get downloaded, cloned, and build will get triggered from here. That's your workspace, right? Makes sense? So here we have to do a CD anyot, go to that once we have the job. So what will be the name of the job? Test job. In that right now it's demo project, but once we run this, then it will come CD anyot also should come. I mean anyot also should come here. Okay,
Okay.
that's what we are assuming to do.
But one doubt, directly we are putting any out, right? So no need of put workspace and all the things, right? It will automatically
What
the
is
default.
directly any out? I didn't understand. What do you mean directly any out?
Here we are just putting CD any out, right? So there's a location, right? So the normal location is still Jenkins, right? So workspace is also default directory. That's what I'm asking.
Workspace is default for the Jenkins.
Okay.
It'll
Okay.
always go
Okay.
to your C colon dot, where is that, users program file something, and dot Jenkins. In that you'll have the workspace.
Oh, okay. Okay. It will, the default location is workspace. I thought like dot Jenkins. Okay.
Yes, that is for your Jenkins installation. So here is where the execution should happen now.
So CD anyaught,
Correct.
the first step is referring to the workspace of Jenkins. Then it's kind of invoking the jar file, but reading this command is
So
just trying to kind of comprehend it.
correct. So it'll go to Jenkins, workspace, the job name, and in that we have the structure. Let's build it, Ramu.
So what is the demo XLS given? What is the, so are we running that
Sure.
particular Excel file in that directory or?
I'll explain it to you. Let's go back to configure. So I've been trying to show you anyot, correct? So how we can download anyot runner from GitHub and then double click on the anyot.jar and execute it.
Yes.
One of the most important things there is the Excel sheet that I provide as an input, which contains all my test scenarios. So it could be demo.xls or anything.xls. Now, in the UI, when I launch the jar file, I have a button where I can choose that file or the path and put it there, and then click on execute. So this java-jar is actually doing the same thing, but it is taking so when you have a Java main program, the main method in any Java program will take input arguments. So after main, we write args 0 and so on. Here demo.xls is the first argument that goes in, and that basically says launch my jar file, and here is your first input variable that will get triggered for execution. So I can launch anyot through command prompt or through double clicking the jar file. Both options are there. Did I answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Great. All
Thanks.
right, Ramu.
Yeah. So yeah, so
We
since
have saved
Team
it.
Karthik, yeah. So I was about to ask this question to Team Karthik. So Karthik mentioned, right, we should execute the job. So how can I do that in the console? So I have created my job, given all the properties, the command. So how do I execute this job now?
So you go to the build now and then you execute that.
Right. Yeah. So I already clicked on it. So it seems to be running, right? So console output. So let me go to my job and see whether I think it's still building it. Yeah. So now you see the folder structure already created, right? So I have my inert, it has been cloned, and even the execution started. So we open this. It is launching the application.
Getting the overall idea, team?
Yes.
Yes.
So from GitHub, which is my cloud, Jenkins is my,
Local.
CI/CD tool that is helping me to get that into my local workspace for Jenkins, and have that entire application ready to execute whatever it does in that workspace. So it's like similar to an Eclipse workspace, just how we organize things.
Yeah.
Let's
So
go
I
back
should
to
be
that
able.
build console output. Ramu,
Okay.
very important to look at this Jenkins console output, team, because it'll keep talking about what it does, what it's doing, how is it connecting. Let's go to the top of it, if we may. So here is where you'll see the most important activities. Observe this very clearly. Git tool is none. User credential we used. C program files git.exe. Then we have fetching changes from the remote Git repository, and it's got the remote origin URL. And after that, Git version. Then we have git.exe fetch tags force program, config, checkout, commit message. That was the last commit message into our GitHub when we were committing. So that comes. So next time when I do it, will it re-download everything?
No.
Why and
No,
how?
no, it will re-download because imagining if there are any new changes checked in.
So why can't it be smart to know I will only re-download when changes have happened to that original Git
Only
repository?
when you input commit.
Commits. So there are commits. It look at the commits, not just the text of it, but is there a
Yeah.
recent commit? So only if there's a change, it'll re-download everything and
Yeah.
try and execute. So from there on, it's now come to where is our CD? Okay, so that's the first one. Do you see that C colon uses Lenovo Jenkins workspace test job CD and yacht? That was the
Yeah.
first command that we did. Then we did the Java jar in your.jar demo.xls. Next command. Now, what is log4j running, prepare run? What are all this? Where are they coming from?
Uh,
Is it any other file other than demo XLS? But we didn't give any reference over there.
Yes, we didn't. That was the end of it, correct? From our command perspective too. So what's this then?
No such property nor Apache. Is it some term, I mean, exclamation or anything like a colon from a program coding perspective that we
No,
were short of?
no, because it's running. Otherwise, it would have failed. Let's save this job as demo2.xls, Ramu, which is not there in try and run.
Okay.
And I'll give you the answer while we do that. And primarily, it is that when you write your own application, any program, Java program, which can also be an automation test, whatever console output we get there in Eclipse is the same thing that you're seeing here in Jenkins. So if I put a system.out.println in Eclipse, that will show up here. Did I make sense? So the same application which got downloaded to Jenkins workspace, test job, anyot, I can open it in Eclipse. When I run it locally in Eclipse with the source and everything, then it'll give me all the console output one after the other. All those details will be there. So let's put demo2.xls.
I think let me check if file is there.
It shouldn't be there, ideally, hopefully.
No, got it. No such file.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And believe me,
I will.
team, there's one belief system that you have to change. All these tools are actually built for ease of use. No creator ever wanted to make their tools complicated. It should be easy. What happens behind it could be complicated, but usage should be very logical and simple. So when we're learning new things, we should come with that acceptance. Oh, it should be easy for me. I'm not looking at something correct. Where is the logic in it? Why is this feature like this? What is the purpose of it? So just keep your visions there and very easy to understand. Okay, so that's mine. What is #1 there on the screen besides test job 2?
It's been executed for the first time.
it's the second
Yes.
time we are running it.
Actually, but I think he copied the job to test job 2, I believe. So that's why it's taking some time to download all the latest source code from Git. But a hash one is what?
It is the instance. What is the instance? I mean, first time or second time that the instance what we are running.
There's a name for it, no? Go back on your screen, Ramu.
Built now?
Mhm.
No.
You build numbers. Go back
Yep.
on your screen, Ramu.
Builds numbers.
No,
So
yeah,
over a
correct.
period of time, you'll have lot of numbers. You can go back in timeline and see, oh, what was number one, number two, 1001, whatever be it. Ramu, your screen is frozen for us.
No, Karthik, no. You mean
Your mouse
I'm
is
in
not.
the build history, yeah.
Oh, now we can. Yeah,
Is it?
there you go. So these are each of your builds, your build jobs, whatever you did execution. So that stays in your history. That's another great feature.
I can show something else, not the previous ones. So
hmm Anything with a few builds there. And this, what is
yeah,
the screen team? Sorry. The first home screen that we see. What are these?
Build history
What
and the
build history of what? But what are these? List of what?
list of various projects that are built to be deployed.
These are build jobs.
Correct. These are Jenkins jobs. These are all jobs, projects or tasks, but we call them as jobs. Each of them will have multiple builds we can do. What are post build actions? Anyone? In the build configurer, what are post build actions?
Post build means after that one
After
we
it's
can
been
test it.
deployed.
After the job has completed execution, you could do certain things. So
So
will it
normally what
execute
will
if the
come?
job is wrong? If the job failed?
No, once it's completed only it will execute.
Correct. So only on a successful job completion.
Normally what will come under that one actually if it is a test
Post
one
build
or like
actions, I can
yeah.
put a simple message called echo, I'm done, thank you. I can
Oh,
put or write back these results or whatever log files back to GitHub as a branch. We can push back there. We can also link other Jenkins jobs to trigger after this successful job. So what
okay.
would ideally happen in a corporation? You'll have the Jenkins hosted. I'll say jenkins.verkasa.com, for example. There, my development team will keep on putting their dev build jobs or development jobs there, Jenkins jobs. I will have my automation jobs also. But when will I run my automation jobs? Whenever the developers do a successful build of their development job. Once that is done, then I will start. So when should I trigger my automation? So when does continuous testing come? So once I write it and automate and put it here, I can sleep. I mean, in the sense that I know once development has pushed its code from production, from dev to staging, they will run this job in Jenkins. Once their job gets completed, post build action will say start my next Jenkins job. So Ramu, where's that option? Somewhere it'll be there. This is GitHub branches.
yeah, this one.
Scroll down a little. Tick, tick, tick. Build other projects. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
It's added somewhere, I think. Click on that.
But I'm not seeing. It seems to have added, but I'm not seeing here.
Just scroll up. Close that GitHub thing. You have a cross there. Close it. Branches. Red cross. Close it. Another Git publisher. Red cross. Close it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now build other projects. There you go. So projects to build. Go take your mouse there. Start. Just say write something. There you go. See, when I start typing, all your jobs will get listed here. Whatever you had in the initial job screen. And you can select the job, what you want to run after this. And now look, you can not only say what happens during a successful build, but also on a failure of a build. Look at those 3 checkbox options, Ramu, below it. A radio button, sorry. So trigger only if build is stable. Stable in the sense work perfectly. Trigger even if the build is unstable. So stable or unstable, we will do it. The last option is trigger if the build only fails. Got it? 3 cases. What we can do post a certain build. So this is the other important thing, team.
So what's the difference here, unstable
Ultimately,
and fail? I mean,
I'm sorry. I think it means the same. If the build is, even if the build is unstable, it's trying to say the same thing, that it's not completed its process. It's failed somewhere. Click on that question mark, Ramu, for that help icon. All right. So nested projects, tick, 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 tick. Pipeline. Yeah. Wait, what is it? Okay, but it's not giving me details about those options, right? That's a good question. I think it should mean the same. Fails or unstable. Any unstable means it's failed at least once. So that's your post build actions. Good. Let's go back, team. Ramu, Jenkins interview questions. Let's see where we are.
I think already we answered quite a few. So we saw that
I think we passed time also, Ramu. Shall we push the
right.
rest to tomorrow?
Yeah, sure.
In the next session. Tomorrow you're not available, correct, Ramu? You're
Yes,
off.
yeah.
So I will. I'm going to check with the other project training team and see what I'll do. But project will meet again on Monday.
Sure.
And Ramu, you want to talk about the ENIOT project activities? If someone is interested to contribute, or shall you and I start sitting down, making them happen?
I mean, we will discuss and maybe present it to the team on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can decide
do that.
what is the application, yeah, and then we will reach out to the team.
All right.
Yeah.
Umesh,
Thanks.
for now, recorded videos, take it from YouTube, please. I'll put it also on the website. At least this first few videos will be on YouTube. Okay. All right. All right. You're welcome. Anything else, team? You liking these sessions?
Yes. Yeah.
Are we able to fill some gaps in our learnings together? Not that I have all the answers, but I'm at least ready to explore and learn and make sure I don't have any gaps as well. Because all new tools, technologies come up, team. If a new thing comes up in market, your experience, my experience on that will be the same, because we started at the same time with a new tool. But how we look at tools, how we try and understand why, what they're trying to achieve. Sure, notes and other details, I'll put it on the website. So that shouldn't be a challenge, okay? Thank you, everyone. See you in the next session then. Bye. Thanks, Ramu.
Thanks.
thanks, Ram. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Bye.